Welcome back to Developing the Leader Within podcast. We are going out to Cyprus today and speaking with my brother Usama Zeid Bashir Salim. Usama helps you face your fears, build your confidence, and harness your talents by using actionable practices. He is the founder and host at Be Strong 99 and a live show producer. Usama, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on board, brother. I mean, it's always pumped up. I mean, when I'm with the leadership expert, I'm definitely trying to alienate to that level. But yeah, thanks so much for having me, brother.
Outstanding. No, it's my joy to have you, brother. I know we've done a show, a live show before. That went well. But today I came across the confidence topic to discuss, and I didn't think of and couldn't have think of somebody better to discuss this than you. So, folks, we're going to be talking about leadership and confidence today. But before we get into that, Osama, tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll get started.
Oh, sure, sure, definitely, certainly a pleasure. I mean, that's one of the hardest questions, actually. Um, so of course, my name is Usam, but of course, you pronounce it way better than I pronounce my own name. So I guess I'll skip that because I don't think if I'm good as that at that. But I was definitely mean. I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I was born raised, spent pretty much most of my life there, and then on forth, of course, I came to Cyprus to pursue my bachelor's degree, complete my bachelor's in business administration, master's as well in business administration, but a different, specialized more in transformational leadership and innovative behavior, more towards the psychology and the relationship with the subordinates and everything. But over the years, and I mean, ever since the age 16, I mean, I was deeply thrilled with the idea of coaching, helping people in their confidence, helping to find their own spark within them. And this is, I didn't even know it was called coaching. I was just deeply intrigued by the ideals. Like the moment if you allow people to feel good so that they can get out of their own grievousness, so that they can find their own greatness, so they can leave literally spark and shine bright. And the moment actually when you make them feel great, I mean that actually they go on, they're likely to go on to have that ripple effect. It's gonna have a snowball effect. So this actually the concept of confidence a lot of times is that nobody can destroy you unless if you allow it to, because you literally you have the firewall. So if you allow someone to break it in, they definitely will be broken. But it's actually definitely it's just like the brick wall, because you'll never build a wall. You can never build a building without the foundation, aka the pillars. When you have the pillars, you'll be able to strike forth. And that's of course the wordings of Professor Enrique when he was on the show. I managed to collect some words from you there. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Learning to grow in every step of the way.
Well, thank you for the quote there. I tell you, it was fun when we was talking about because we did cover an array of topics during that conversation. But we're talking about confidence today, and folks, I'm going to read you or speak to you three definitions of confidence, and then we're going to get into this. Confidence, the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, firm trust. Number two, the state of feeling certain about the truth of something. And number three, a feeling of self assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own ability or qualities. And the funny thing about this is there's a lot of feelings, Usama, about when it comes to confidence, a lot of feeling in the definitions. But what is confidence to you?
Uh, Confidence actually it's an inner abstract of one's life. Confidence is embodiment. Confidence is movement. Confidence is literally with the aspirations to make a difference, with the due diligence to empower the confidence of others. So it's definition within a definition. It's an incubation within the separate of others. So it's literally, it's not like about, it's more like about necessarily, it's like I'll be comfortable if no one is following me. as long as I have that firm belief and faith in it, it's okay. I mean, as they say, it's like make a buck and do it right. Do it right and make a buck out of it. And you're confident as well as you're confident, as long as you're not harming anyone, as long as you're not acting necessarily harming or offending anyone towards the right direction. You're doing things that's right, and you help others so that they can spark their light as well. So that's not only are you a confidence builder, but you're also necessarily a reader, because a leader is a person actually not only knows the way, but grinds the way, feels the way, and helps others shine towards their way. It's not about you can do it. It's like, no, you can exit, you can 10x it with that, because I know I can see what's within you. You are more likely to be compatible in this field, in this realm, in this sphere. So it's not just within you, it's literally that separate. It's not just like, oh, I am the big. It's like, no, as long as I have it, no, let me give it out. Let me give it out, spread it out to the world. So yeah.
And it's amazing how confidence takes a play and a role in somebody's life. Now, you can actually lack confidence, see someone else with it, and then absorb some of that and gain your own confidence from it. So it is true that although it starts inside of you, that once you execute it, once you put it into play, it will actually be contagious at times when it comes to somebody lacking the confidence to do whatever it is that they are wanting to do. Now, there's a obviously a market to facilitating conversations around confidence, and you do that yourself. You help people find their way towards that inner feeling of, hey, I can do this thing. Hey, I can do it just like anybody else, or maybe I could do it better than some people. So, what is it about folks that hinders them, and where do you see people struggle the most concerning confidence?
Most of the time, it's self image. What are people gonna say? How am I observed by others? Is my values highly valued enough? Is my principles highly respected enough? Do I mean anything by being on the table? And if I'm sitting with a group of people who are highly educated or experts or something, will I have anything to contribute? Because we also know even the experts, they continue to learn. I mean, they're continually students. I mean, sometimes they'll meet up with a newbie and they will learn something. It's like, oh wow. It's like, oh, that's definitely a great thing. I mean, thank you so much. I mean, and that will be a fun idea. It's like, hey, I'm working on this project. Would you mind helping me, even though he's a newbie? But this is actually of a way it's acknowledging someone actually in that kind of regard. So, and the problem is, I mean, the imposter syndrome that arises across to everyone and anyone. Sometimes even think, is this even gonna be of good value? Because we are our own worst critics, and then definitely we assume the worst of ourselves. And that's why there is a saying in the Arabic language that says كل يرى الناس بعين حاله. Every person sees others the way how they project of themselves. So when they see someone that's confident, prosperous, that's successful in everything, that insecurity starts to kick in. I can't. I mean, I feel like they're absorbing my own light. They're stealing my thunder, which actually in reality that person actually might be struggling with something else from the outside realm, but internally they're struggling with some things. So in a way or another, that even in the wordings of Robin Williams, everyone is fighting battles that we know nothing about. It may be so great from the outer world, but from the interior there's lots of things that should to be figured, because and we're continually, we haven't figured everything out. That's why we're constantly moving and growing. But once is I asked them a couple of questions. I mean, asking the right question will lead towards a person's great actualization and hence to realization. They will internalize it as, oh, wow, I never knew that I had that. Well, you have it all along, but you haven't spread it out. If you don't say it, it won't be said, it won't be known, and it won't be grown. But the moment actually when you articulate it, and it's okay if you make mistakes, but sometimes actually because lots of people are afraid of failures. Okay, now it's my image, but now it's like, what if I say something and I fall, and then I'll be criticized all over the internet, and then I won't have a say after that. And that's completely natural, but it's like guiding you one step upon to the other. And before you know it, I mean, you'll definitely kill it. I generally believe everyone is a confident, everyone has got marvelous, everyone is talented, everyone is gifted, but it's just like a person to be there. I mean, just like your roles of it said, people don't really know how much you know, they just care how much you care. And the wordings of Dominic Burgess, one of the LinkedIn connections and a good friend, said, show them that you care and they'll definitely be there. The way they can spark their own thunder. But
So we're talking about the ability to find a attribute, something that can spark confidence in a person. And a lot of people have a lot of, let's just say, rocks of events on them, and they just can't work their way out of it enough to see how good they are or the potential of how good they are. So,
sure.
if I'm that type of person, um, what would you say that I would need to do to find this confidence that already resides in me?
My simple question, as I ask a lot of people, is what is your greatest fear? That's the simplest, because a lot of times that self image is a lot of times with confidence and everything, it's driven by fear. Driven actually, fear becomes as the mechanism to drive it forth. So as a result, it's like, a lot of times what people are gonna say, it's people's thoughts, people's opinions of them. Because, and even as Les Brown says, like, people's opinion of you has nothing to do with you. It's none of your business. I mean, this is what they think. But if someone were to, if their response was, "Oh, my greatest fear is death," then that means they're ready to risk it, whatever it takes. But it's just generally they just don't know actually the way actually how to be directed. So as a result, I will feel it's like questions. From there, then they say people's opinion. It's like, okay, are they the one providing? Are they the ones who literally manufactured your confidence? Are they the ones who manufactured your talent? Are they the ones who created you? No, it's like, okay, because we're here. I mean, we were created to please the creator, not the creation. So once they internalize word by word, slowly but surely they'll be moving from stage A to B, because we don't want to move from stage A to Z right up front. Slowly but surely. I mean, first of a heavy rain is just a drop, then it pours. So,
That, and that's so important for you to realize the true impact of someone else's opinion on you and how much true value that actually has or doesn't have, right? And how that plays out in the ultimate success of an individual concerning confidence and how they use that. So, there's a lot of people that are probably on the fence of, hey, do I take these steps to engage confidence in me? How do I do that? What is it that this thing called confidence is going to do for me? So, talk to us a little bit about what will confidence do for a person that maybe has been underemploying it in their life.
confidence, I think of it as just like a sport. We don't become we don't become confident of our bodies, of everything, just the first day when we hit the gym, when we start working out. It's over time. And even in the wordings of Jason, connection over convenience, he said it's like transformation starts overnight, but it doesn't happen overnight, it happens over time. It's putting in the reps, and then the snowball effect takes place. I mean, consistency breeds relevance in the long run. So you might not see it even eventually. And people's actually spark and people's speed differ from one another. Some of them will be able to pick it up very quickly. Some of them will take time, and that's okay, because comparison is the thief of joy. We are not here to compare ourselves to others. We're here to compare ourselves to yesterday. That will be one of the fastest and effective and efficient ways to enlight and elevate our confidence. When we know of the fact that we are in competition with nobody, we are in competition with ourselves, because it goes according to two principles. Either we react, compare and complain, which this actually drains our confidence apart, drains our energy apart, and at the same time, we're literally throwing our blessings out the window. Or we can we can learn, we can leverage, and foster. And this is actually one of the fastest ways, and at the same time it's like, okay, this happened, how can I get better? Even if I were to see someone that's way ahead of me, 10 years ahead of me or something, I would like, what can I learn from them, as opposed to how come they're better than me? like like how can I learn, how can I get there? So it's like at the same time having the right mentor, having the right kinds of friends, being around the right kinds of friends, because we're the average of five people who we surround ourselves with. If we surround ourselves with five highly intellectual and confident people, we're likely to be like them. If we surround ourselves with people who are educators, we're likely to be like them. If we surround ourselves with millionaires, we're likely to be like them. Because it takes one to know one, it takes one to build one, and that's how we become a whole one. So yeah.
There's for those leaders that are listening, and you have an important role in getting your people to find confidence within themselves. Not only just find it, but also build it to the point where it does become pillars. You mentioned this earlier, the foundation, and then you got pillars. Then you can go ahead and build whatever walls you want from then on in, and the roof and whatever, subsequent, floors you want to throw into this building that you're trying to create with your folks. But without some type of assistance,
Mhm.
sometimes it's hard to even understand how confidence comes to play in our own life, but how much impact it has in your success. So, what role does confidence have in someone's success?
Lots, because we are a lot of times we are judged by our appearance, by our actions, by our behaviors. A person that's confident, a person that knows their self-worth, and a person that's basically, you could say, proficient in their field or in whatever they do, they don't need to say it out loud, because their action says a lot. Because that's why they say it's like action speaks louder than words. The way how they, the moment, the way how they process, the way how they actually, how they carry themselves, and not just them, but they carry also others. They don't see it. It's like, oh, I have it all. No, it's like, no, I still have it. I don't have it all. So how about I learn from others and at the same time bring others up together with me, because that's the true ladder to success. So like when you have it, no, it's like as Kobe Bryant described, it's like success upon success upon success, which means you get yours. Okay, you collected whatever you needed. Now it's like, okay, you're trying to leave a legacy, trying to leave a legacy. You're trying to leave a legacy, help others, and then the upcoming generation they do the same, because our confidence, our presence automatically liberates others. The moment how we shine, the way how we sparkle and everything. Just I'll mention a simple example. What does a person think when they think of Enrique? Leadership, instantly. A leader who's confident, who knows what he's talking about, actually grasps the information from ways that reaches the heart, penetrates the mind. So this is actually, it does so much, so many things. And sometimes before, even prior to interview or something, you can just know someone's vibe already. You can just tell they'll just definitely nail this position, or they'll nail it very easily before we even speak, but the way how they carry themselves. So that's why, I mean, not everyone is charismatic. Some of them are born, some of them have learned along with the way. But a lot of time with confidence, actually, it allows people, it gravitates people to your path. Because you're okay, it's like if people are not following me, even if I don't have millions of followers, even if I have two genuine followers that follow, that's all that matters. And slowly but surely, I mean, things will start to get along the way, because it attracts. It attracts. I mean, we don't have to chase. It attracts. So yeah.
Yeah, as you was talking, I remember a couple of times that, and thank you, by the way, for for referring to me as the first thought in somebody's head when talk about leadership. That is my aim in life. right? That when people think about leadership or think about who do I recall to be a leader, that they would see my face. That would be the greatest accolade that I could ever receive. But talking about somebody's makeup and how they institute and bring in confidence to help them live the life of success. And we're just talking about the correlation between success and confidence. Um, it's amazing if you picture this. A car pulls up, and an individual, doesn't matter, man, woman, whatever, comes out, and they're well dressed, and their head is held high when they come out, and they extend their hand to the person that may have opened the door or not, and thank them, and did whatever it is that they wanted to do, tip them, or give them advice, however it plays out. But you're watching this from a distance. You already are starting to create within your mind certain types of scenarios in your head. Or this person must be this, or this person must be that. I remember one time I was part of an attaché. I wasn't the main person, but I was dressed better than the group as a whole. And the person that we was going to meet came and greeted me first, and I was not the head of that group. And then I had to tell them, "Oh, this is the boss, right? This is the CEO." And they were like, "Oh," but immediately to them, they registered the confidence. They registered the person I was portraying uh singularly, right? Because I wasn't doing it for the group. That's me. And my mom used to ask me, "Why are you getting dressed up to go to the store?" Right? It's that type of stuff that creates the level of confidence that you should have as a person. And I love that you mentioned that, for you, what are you doing it for? You're doing it for you. You are the one that has to live this life that we call life, right? No one else. And if you can't do it for you, you can't do it for somebody else. So uh, uh, what are some ways that you can give the listener um, ways that they can start to apply the attributes of confidence, those things, those key determining factors that help somebody create, confidence within themselves?
Um, a lot of times I say it's three things, three simple things. Number one is never ever fear failure. It's okay. Because we didn't become confident overnight. I mean, we didn't get to where we are today just instantly overnight. It took time. I mean, that's okay. Learn from your mistakes, and it's okay, and strike forth. And learn from people's mistakes that I had. It's okay, you'll be learning along from them. That's one. And two is basically your presence, the way, I mean, just like you highlighted a couple of moments ago, Enrique, it's like your presence, the way how you carry yourself and all of that. That also slowly but surely it improves. But one thing I will also look into that deeper is what is something that you like doing that consumes most of your time you don't even see? It could be drawing, it could be podcasting, it could be producing, it could be video editing, or sometimes what is people that come to you the most when they need help? Recognize, and when you know it, it's like it's not like you went to school to study it, but it's just general of interest that it grew over time with practice that makes perfect. But yeah, if that's the thing, that's your confidence, that's what sparkles your confidence. Okay, then you can make a course of it. Or you can basically go on keynote speeches and talk about it, or go to certain universities whatsoever and just teach it, even if you're not getting paid, but you're getting your name out there because also your presence and people they remember what you said. Even as Maya Angelou said, people will remember will forget what you said, but will forget what you gifted them, but they will never forget what you how you made them feel, right? Because If we don't feel what others feel, then we can't heal. And that's the simple real deal. That's that's the second thing. And the last but not least is network with people as much as possible, because when you network, you learn so many things, because network is the art of the hard work. You are uniting with several hearts across the globe. It doesn't matter where you meet. It could be, they could be in the US. I mean, they could be in Canada. I mean, right now, look at right now. I mean, Enrique, my brother is all the way in the US and I'm all the way in Cyprus, and we connected because of this virtual world. And you will learn, you'll be surprised of how many things or how much you'll be learning from the other person or from one another. And from there, for instance, like if I were to talk actually from my situation, Enrique, I'm learning about leadership. And from him, maybe he might be learning from confidence, but I'm not as confident as he is. I have to learn from that from him as well. But that's also another thing. But you learn so many things, just like it's those minor drops that makes the ocean alive. So yeah, that's would be a little bit that I'll add on. But
Well, those three things will definitely help you out in generating enough for what we call oomph, right? To get
yeah.
you standing on your own. You know, the key thing about all this, that we're discussing about leadership and confidence is that you have to find it, and that's the thing. It is you, right? There's the saying that nobody's going to come rescue you. You have to do something for yourself, and if you do anything for you, build your confidence. It does not have to be the type of confidence that will go charge a hill and seize the enemy. It doesn't have to be that great, but enough confidence to be comfortable in your own skin. You
Mm,
have to get to a point where you're comfortable in your own skin. You don't require the yeses and applauses of others to
mm,
feel good about yourself and your role, your divine role on this earth. So, thank you, Usama, as we're discussing this topic. I know that there are folks that are listening to you and say, man, this young man has something for me to learn from. So, how would they get a hold of you if they wanted to talk to you about their level of confidence?
yeah, and yeah, thank you so much. I mean, it was a gracious interaction, gracious conversation. I learned a lot actually along the way as well. Yes, I'm available on LinkedIn 24/7. Definitely feel free to reach out. Feel free to DM me and all of that kind of discussion. And yeah, if you need any help in confidence, please feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you out along the way. But yeah.
Absolutely. And folks, we're going to have that his link and all his information on the show notes, on the video, so you can get a hold of Usama. Usama, it's been such a great pleasure to once again share the screen, share the airwaves with you. And as you mentioned, right, I'm in Florida, you're in Cyprus, and we get to fellowship and share some time with each other and encourage each other. We talk about encouragement and all the good jazz of confidence. And folks, today's episode is sponsored by Triad Leadership Solutions. And if you've enjoyed this episode and learned something interesting about the topic covered today, make sure to subscribe and let us know by leaving a comment right now. And we're always looking for new ideas and guests that we can add to our show. So if you know someone or have a topic that you would like featured on the podcast or want to sponsor our show, look at that. We love to hear about it by emailing us at triadleadershipsolutions@gmail.com. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode where we dissect leadership from another angle. And as we like to end the show, success to you.